Getting on. Welcome to the European Pool Championships. It's a match between Daniel MACIOL and Jose Alberto Delgado. Single elimination stage, final 32. MACIOL has won the leg, and he'll be up to break in rack number 1. Zara Korlifson, joined here by George Teachea.
Good morning, everyone. And what a match we have. Both of these gentlemen were here in the United States for Las Vegas in the team championships. MACIOL doing a very good job. Both of them did very, very well. MACIOL from Poland, 25-year-old. An 815 Fargo, also ranked number 6 in the WPA. Jose Alberto Delgado from Spain, 781 Fargo, ranked 26th in the WPA.
Yeah, it promises to be a good one.
Tempo. It really does. Both of these.
Go ahead.
Jose Alberto just seems to be playing very, very well. They did so well in the doubles. So, and of course, Daniel last year was the first part of this year, won the Qatar Open. And playing very, very well.
Yeah, and a bit of research with Delgado, I noticed that he actually finished 3rd in the Qatar Open, too. So I wonder if they played in the semifinals or not, but could be a bit of a grudge match going on here. That was MACIOL's biggest title by far. I've watched him play over the course of the last year. I really like how he plays. Good stroke time. Yeah. Real nice delivery. Go ahead.
Actually, Eric, Daniel won the Qatar Open and for $100,000, and Jose Alberto. Let me get that because I know I have it right here.
Yeah, I had him down in the semis of that tournament.
Final 16.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, it's this info, and we look up so much info that we sometimes get a little mixed up. Either way, it's a great match. I've been watching Jose Alberto come to the U.S., especially for the Vegas tournaments with other Spanish contingent of David Alcaide, FSR, Jonas Suto, and I'm telling you, his game's been coming up and coming up as he matures and gets seasoned. He's in the 30-year-old range.
Yeah, one of the up-and-coming players on tour, no doubt, and following in the footsteps of a lot of Spanish champions, particularly Alcaide and Ruiz. Got some good teammates to inspire him. Nice shot on the one. To get some angle here. It's pretty straight, but he can play it out with some right spin. You can see a bit of reaction from him, knowing he's so straight and won't be able to get closer to the 4. Draw this with some right spin, swing towards the 4. More distance than he would have wanted, but couldn't really manufacture much there because of the straightness. It's got a decent landing zone in the middle of the table here. A bit of left spin, bring the cue ball up the middle, 1 rail. Go for the 10. Seems average in his body language. Looks like he can't make it, so he's going to go take it a 2-rail kick, try to hit the bottom part of the ball here. Great separation at worst.
That's one of the problems with using a 1 rail to come in for your position and not using the 2nd rail. What a nice safety.
Yeah, beautiful shot there. Containing MACIOL well. Kind of resigned to having to try to just kick this ball in. Great shot. Look at that opener from MACIOL on the offense side. Gonna need another one here. He'll likely draw this ball. There is a following option. Just want to stay away from the 10 here, I think. Yeah, these pockets been playing a little smaller, George. You know, I really feel like they've tightened up a little bit somehow. They're the same dimensions, but it could be just the facing cut or the way the shelf is designed. They're a little tighter than the previous version, I think.
Well, being so close to the Gulf of Finland here in Tallinn, humidity might be up a little bit, and they tighten up. It is new cloth.
True.
So that should be. He'd like to have gone by that 10 ball, but he's given up a big opportunity for MACIOL. You know, Daniel has this. Just when you watch him play, he seems to be like, and I don't want to use the word robot, but everything is so precise, so measured.
Yeah, and the fundamentals are so. Yeah, the fundamentals are so strong too. I really peg him as kind of having a chance to enter the top 10 in the world, arguably if he's right near there already.
Well, let's see. In Fargo, he is ranked with an 815 Fargo. He's 29th out of 100, the top 100.
Okay. Yeah.
So he's getting there. I just took a look, and I think there's 61 players 800 plus in Fargo. And I'll tell you, 4 years ago, there wasn't 30.
I know. It's daunting.
So
yeah, go ahead, George.
No. Go ahead, daunting.
I was just gonna say it's daunting to think that there's over 60 players in the world now than over 800 Fargo. I mean, when you're talking 800 Fargo, you're talking players that make one or two mistakes a set. Really, that's how strong you got to play to be at that level. Of course, they're going to have a couple every once in a while. They're going to have a couple weaker sets, but that's the general level of play of those players. And we got 60 players in the world now at that level. It's really good time for pool and good time to watch a lot of good pool.
And the elite players, which is what I call 800 plus, you know, keep in mind Shane reigned the Fargo from about 2016 to about 4 years ago. Shane was the highest rated Fargo for the longest time, and he was in the 820s to 830. But now we have Joshua Filler. We have so many at 856.
Wow!
So even they've raised the whole level, not just the top level. They've just taken the whole rankings up. Makes me wonder that if in the next 4 years we don't see a 900 Fargo.
Could be. They're moving up, no doubt. Good break there from Delgado. Unfortunately, didn't make one and hung the one right in the pocket. The one hanging is actually going to make the position a lot tougher for MACIOL. Wanted to come near where he did. Overran position a little bit. Looks like he still might have an option on the 8th ball here. 2 looks like it could play off to the left a bit, which wouldn't be positive for him. Yeah, he knows that, so I think he's considering safe. No, he's going to go at it. Let's hit the middle of the 8 here, ideally. Yes, tripped off to the left a bit.
Forcing him to play safe behind the 9.
Yeah, MACIOL can play a creative safe here, kind of cutting the 2 ball thinly up the left long rail and taking the cue ball back between the 3-9. A lot of blockers kind of going diagonally across table on that angle. Nice shot. It's going to catch the window, though. Yeah, the window's there. Pretty aggressive try if Delgado were to pocket this ball, but against a player like MACIOL, you really got to keep him off the table. The safe would be with cue ball behind the 10. But chance of MACIOL kind of playing a kick safe or maybe even some kind of jump out of that position. Delgado's going to go after this ball. Nice shot.
He is aggressive, and he does like those types of shots down the rail. He cuts them very well.
5 ball is going to be the next obstacle for Delgado. It's playing okay into a combo. I believe any areas playing the 5 in the right middle or the bottom, top right are too tough. So he will go after the combo here, I think. A little straighter than ideal, but he can still force an angle around 2 rails here.
Looking to see what he can do with his 5 ball. He's going for the combo, I think.
I think so.
So he was.
Well, he's in line decently, but it's always tough to really target a comboing ball when the cue ball's so far away. Nice thing about this one is you can kind of just pretend like you're pocketing the 5, and you should be good. Nice hit. Nice speed. Little thin here. If he feels like he can slow it down, he will. If not, he has a 4-rail option all the way around the 9. Nice shot. How's the speed?
Perfect.
Great shot.
The English on that ball carried the speed. Nice shot.
Yeah, 20 feet of cue ball movement, landing into a 3-inch position. Great shot. So, strong reply from Delgado here. Forget this is the single elimination stage of the tournament. Loser goes home, so both players will be putting it all in this match.
Good point there, Eric. Forget about that this is the single. They finally got there to the final 32. Yeah. 117 players started out. And we're down to the final 32. Predator Group is a sponsor, and they're playing on the Predator Art table with a 3-piece slate, the steel frame, Iwan Simonis Billiard Cloth, Aramith Billiard Balls, Longoni Cues, Kamui Brand, Hansavest, Folger, and DATEL are sponsors of this Predator European Pool Championship. MACIOL breaking in rack number 3. The one thing about making mistakes here is it's alternate breaks, so it may not hurt you quite as bad as in the winter break format, especially the way the balls are breaking.
Wired ball down. Oh, the 8's going to come in between the 1 and the cue ball, so it'll be a push on the first shot here for MACIOL.
Eric, I love the control he had on his cue ball from that break.
Oh, it's perfect. One came up how it was supposed to. Yeah, could have easily got a shot on the 1 there. Just one of the last balls rolling, ending up blocking him. Gonna push for distance here. always find it tougher pushing in 10 ball than 9 ball because the balls tend to end up in the middle of the table, and there's so many ways you can play safe when the balls are in the middle. I kind of like the middle of the short rail here. Yeah, he's going to go over to the side. It's just a little too risky with Delgado going behind the 7 if he went to the middle. Trying to block off an angle where possibly getting behind the 7 is there, but it's kind of playing into a scratch, and he's done well with that. Yeah, Delgado's going to play a creative shot here, banking the 1-up-2 rails with some right spin, trying to get the cue ball in line with the 4-10. Risk here is they actually throw the 1 too much and kind of cut it into the 7. Nice shot. Very well played.
Very cagey. Used all the 5 balls there is 5-ball wall.
Yeah, it was the smartest shot on the table. It's a shot that doesn't come up that often, but he recognized it right away, executed well. MACIOL's going to try to stick the cue ball on the short rail here. There'll be room between the rail and the 10. Not quite. Rail first going to be available for Delgado. Cue ball is kind of traveling towards the 7 off that shot. Got to be gutsy to play this one at a slow speed, but the slow speed will play better for position on the 4. See what he chooses here. If he does run into the 7, he still could have a backup with a 4-10 combo. Oh, he made it around the 7. Great shot. Look at that shot, George. Very nice.
Very well done.
Another tester here for Delgado. Speed withdrawal. Shot. Well, Delgado looks like he's ready to come and play. And he's getting more seasoned. I mean, there'll be no fear factor from Delgado towards MACIOL here. He's 30 points down in Fargo, but really these players around the 780 range, they can play just as well as the 800s. Just kind of where they're at mentally. Looks like he's coming in strong here. I mean, Delgado's really created a lot for himself here in these first 2 racks. Started off with a tough opening pot on the 2 and first rack he won. Now kicking in the 1, playing advanced position, getting all the way out from there. So great start for him. Watch out for the speed. That's slightly too much angle, but he'll be okay. Shot. Through rack number 3, taking a 2-1 lead now.
2 games in a row for Delgado. He won his opening match 8-0 versus Milos Milankovic. And Daniel MACIOL was challenged in his winner's qualification versus Ivo Arts, winning 8-6. So they've had some time at the table. see if I can find the other opponents that Delgado punished. I'd throw out this name real quick, but it's going to take me a while to pronounce it.
20 letters?
Ajidin? No, it's kind of short, but it's Ajidin Piknenjak. That's a good one. Actually, I don't recognize that flag.
There's the wired ball for Delgado. Hitting it at a good medium speed. Even landed the one kind of where he wanted, but the cue ball got kicked away into a spot where he's not going to be able to pocket it. He can play the cue ball behind the 5 here.
I wonder if he would consider bringing the cue ball down below the 10.
Yeah, it looks like he's actually looking at that. That's a smart shot too. Kind of got a 2-ball.
Just lace them that.
Yeah, 2-ball wall there. 210 lying pretty big.
Yeah, to hold it behind the 5, you'd have to drag the cue ball a little bit with low English, and that's not going to be quite as high percentage as what he's shooting here.
Yeah. Well, little surprised he went that way.
That was the end result he wanted, he was looking for.
Yeah, you know what he was trying to do there, George? He kind of knows that if he goes the thin way up behind the 210, it's a little harder to kind of freeze to the 210. And if he went this way, he had a chance to freeze right behind the 4. So it was a smart shot. Mm-hmm. Not really any more risk. It just didn't look as natural. But he was still leaving the 1 kind of blocked by the 5 in the top left, even if he didn't get it. First there from Delgado there, and he'll be looking good to take a 3-1 lead now. Bit of maneuvering to do from the 2 to the 3. There is a path between the 4-10 coming into the short rail. He knows it's tough, so a bit of a head shake about it. But I think that's the only way out of that 3-ball cluster that the 2's kind of in the middle of.
You know, it's funny, Eric, I just had an idea in watching MACIOL being left-handed. I'm going to take a look at, right off the top of my head, think of the top world players that are left-handed. I know Joshua is.
I was going to say you got Filler.
Yeah, you got Filler at the very top. A57 Fargo. My Lord, he's moving right on up.
Wu Cheching has kind of been out of the conversation for a while, but Wu Cheching is left-handed too. That's right, Shaw is, yeah?
Is Shaw left-handed?
I think
I'm not
so.
sure.
I don't.
That's what I said.
I have a feeling he is.
I'll check it out. I think that's.
I've played him 7 or 8 times, George. I should remember, but I don't remember 100%.
I watched Jason play quite a bit, and it's funny because that's one of the things I noticed since I am left-handed. I have a poster on my wall from way back when I was playing quite a bit. The top 9 players in Arizona at the time were pictured on this poster, and there's 9 players, and 5 of the 9 were left-handed.
Oh, wow. Dennis Hatch, also a real smooth lefty.
Because one thing I've noticed is when there's a left-handed player, they usually see the angles and they just play well. They're very natural, instinctive players.
Yeah, even in baseball, they have that kind of savant quality. The pitchers kind of have a savant quality to them. Safe from DELGADO in his last inning at the table. Trapped MACIOL and not having much on the jump there. I think he's going to go behind the 7 here. Pardon me, the 5. Got the cue ball nice and
funny.
close. Go ahead.
It's hard not to go for that 2 ball on the side, but it's sellout. If you don't make it.
Yeah, it's just a percentage play when you're on a safe like that, where you're pretty much in the high 90s, above 90% to get the safe. It's always hard to pass up.
He better pick up his extension over there.
Look at this safe battle between these two players. MACIOL with a controlled jump. Safe. Very nice. DELGADO the jump 3 now. Position's reasonably natural here. Can just kind of focus on the pocketing. He is going all in at the pocketing here. That'll be another safe result. Tough spot now for MACIOL. 3 balls kind of blocking the most natural path towards the 2-rail kick. Just looking to see if he has room between the 5-7 at the 1 rail. Doesn't look like he does, so tough spot. Jump kick now for MACIOL. Might even need to add a bit of left spin on this jump. Nice shot. Controlling jumps with spin, George. What a rack we have going here.
We could make a highlight reel out of the last 3 shots.
Yeah, good stuff. If the 2 is frozen in the rail, it's going to make things even tougher because you'll have to hit a rail after contact. Nice thing for DELGADO is, even if he does give up ball in hand, yeah, it looks like it's just off the rail there. Great work from our camera guys. Nice thing for DELGADO here, and see, it matters because he was just rolling at it 1 rail. But the nice thing for DELGADO is, even if MACIOL does get ball in hand, which he does, he's going to have to play another safe. And we'll look to play him behind the 5 again. Very minimal cue ball movement off moving the 2 behind the 8.
DELGADO's got to hate this because if he saves him again, it's a hard ball to hit. It's 3 fouls.
Yeah, he's going to hope to block the lane between the 4-7, and he actually hasn't.
Yeah.
Can go 2 rails at this.
Being that the 2 balls off the rail, he's just going to hit this soft. Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
But he's got great camera work there for our team. Giving you a close-up view. So DELGADO back to no saves. Not much threat of a 3 foul here. MACIOL's going to play a similar shot, but it's going to kind of push the 2 past the 8. Tougher here. Smart shot. Recognizing that if he took the cue all the way behind the 5 and then ended up getting right behind the 5, that he was going to leave the 2. DELGADO has to go rail first here, George.
He's going to have to spin it looks like. He's going to try. You know how you spin a ball that throws on the rail when you're opposite side? Yeah, that's exactly what he's trying to do. Spin it down the rail to the bottom pocket.
Yeah, and just hit it with so much speed that the spin didn't really catch. So, but look at this. The 2 still doesn't pocket. It looks like it's wide open. There's nothing around it, but it's blocked on both the long rail pockets. So MACIOL going to have to play another safe here.
Behind the 10?
Looks like it could be, yeah.
He might be banking the ball to make it.
Look at that aggressive play.
Yeah. I like the play.
Well, he didn't want to run into the 4, and that's changed things as far as position. There's another really aggressive carom on in the 9 here, and he's actually looking at it. What a rack we have going, George. Got it. Wasn't able to control the 3 perfectly.
DELGADO gave that back, huh?
He called it. He must have called it. Yeah. Look at this, still going on the offense. Huh. Well, DELGADO's on a high percentage make here. It's going to be going to take hitting very small parts of the 3 to hold the cue ball on the left side of the table. It's going to kind of trend over towards the 5. Let's see what kind of control he has with the jump cue here. It's going to get any kind of edge. Doesn't look like it. 8's fully blocking him. Yeah, that was tough. Once you start hitting the rail first there, you're kind of trending over to the right side of the table. Really tough to judge hitting certain parts of the ball over so much distance.
Yeah, he's got to try to make this because if he kicks up table, there's no safety.
Yeah, outside chance that the 4 goes off the 10. Wow, super entertaining rack here. MACIOL can get position with a bunch of right spin. Tough to judge the right spin shooting off the rail and at such distance. He has to, though. If he follows it, he's coming into the 7 too much. Look out.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I mean, I understand why he backed off on the spin there. It's very tough to judge over that distance, but this was always the risk if you were going towards the 7 too much.
Straightforward jump shot.
Yeah, early turning point here. Nice try. Just left it pretty safe, but there is a pocket for the 5. This will be DELGADO's biggest pocketing test besides the 2 in rack number 2. Not there. And finally a break coming in rack number 4 here. MACIOL going to be a big favorite to run these last 4, but a lot of great play between the players. Came down to a tough shot on the 5. DELGADO not able to get it down. So we're going to be level here. Good front-on view of MACIOL there. He's heavily opposite eye dominant. Got him in front of the cue here again. rare for a player to be, in his case, left-handed and so far under his dominant eye. His right eye.
Totally agree. Totally agree there, Eric.
Albin Ocean is a little bit like that. Wu Cha-Ching, another player, like really heavily opposite eye dominant. It's actually a bit of an impediment. You got to bring the cue into your body a little more. The ideal is that you're the same eye dominance as whatever your shooting hand is. But he's found a way to make it work.
So your alignment's straight all the way through, exactly.
Yeah, you're just kind of you're forced to kind of force the cue into your body when you're that heavily opposite eye dominant.
Well, breaking in game number 5. And they're tied at 2.
Seven was going, but kicked away just before it got to the pocket. 4 Railer's got a chance. No. MACIOL's looking now if the 1 passes the 5. I don't believe it does. The caram's reasonably straightforward. I think he could catch a double kiss coming off the long rail with the 1, so that'll be a little bit unpredictable about where the 1 and the cue ball end up. But worth the value here. I don't think he can get into too much trouble even if he does catch the double kiss. Is it there? It's super thin, but I think it could be there.
He might play maybe. I'm not sure what I would do there, or what I would recommend to do there.
Yeah, it really just depends on the thinness. Like these shots, I think are a lot thinner than they look on camera.
I think I'd just leave it on the top. Ooh, he cut it. Yes,
great.
It was there, Eric.
Gonna try to get the cue ball back to right around where it is now.
Doesn't want to risk getting behind the 9 ball, so he's going to take the steep cut.
The 4 ball's in a pretty good position where he can avoid the jam here. As long as he gets the inside of the 4, it should be okay for the 3 to drop. Oh, those type of shots can play tricks on your mind, George. Just, when you're not used to shooting into a pocket where there's a kind of a ball on one side or the other of it. Like I would rather, even though the 4 kind of makes the pocket bigger, it's just throwing something at you that's not usually there. Even this shot. MACIOL does okay. See? Like, look at this. Twice in a row now.
Mm-hmm.
4 is just blocking a certain part of the pocket, and it kind of just messes with your overall perception. It's like
when
you're literally
go rip.
Yeah, I think you can. Sorry, it's like when you're literally shooting past the ball too, like in the middle of the table. You have to be really mentally strong to say, I'm not going to hit that ball. It almost helps you target a certain part of the pocket sometimes, but it's just something that doesn't come up on normal shots. Oh, didn't want to clip the 4. Might have to resign to defense here. Can play to the cue ball to the the cue ball to the right of the 4 and get the 9-10 involved. It is makeable. He went for a thin one already in this rack. Might go again. It's backed off.
Now, can he carry this ball in the air over the 10?
He can, and he's a world-class player, so he's going to make it look easy. I'd make him a favorite to hit the ball for sure. But go ahead and try the shot at home, and you're going to need to try it a few hundred times to say that you're kind of an expert at it. It's a lot tougher than it looks. Great shot. Cue ball
Funny how the
bounding
ball
in.
lane.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Funny how the ball laying right in front of the hole is so hard to make sometimes because of the way you're coming into it with the cue ball spinning.
Yeah, that shot, you're always going to be bounding into the object ball. You can hit certain different parts of the object ball, even if you target it perfectly. Nice shot from DELGADO, recovering from that longer miss that he had in the last rack. Great match so far.
A lot of maneuvering in this match. Heck, they had kick safes and 4 shots in rack number 4.
Yeah, I don't think there's been any breaking runs, and not for the fault of either player. They're hitting the break well, but just not getting shots, so it's been a full display of skill here. Room past the 10 to pocket the 9, and looking very good in rack number 5. Believe he'll be breaking in rack number 6, so small chance to create some separation here.
He will be breaking at 3-2. MACIOL won the lag, so he'll break when the score is even. DELGADO will break when the score is odd number. Total's an odd number. The men's and women's 10 ball are going on right now in Tallinn. There's a lot of pool to be played here this week. You have the 8 ball starting on the 2nd, men's and women's. Then you'll have the 9 ball, men's and women's, on April 6th through the 8th. And you still have the youth 8 and 9 ball, and the wheelchair. Of course, the 10 ball is going on now. We called a match yesterday, and that's going on for the 8, 9, and 10 ball still this week. So a lot of pool here in Estonia, in this Estonian European Pool Championships.
Kind of staying down through the break, kind of hitting it at 60% speed. Hitting the rack nice and square, controlling the 1 pretty decently, but just not getting a shot. Always tough to push when the 1's so near a pocket. Could push to a spot where he only has the short rail to kick at, or even maybe 2 rails. Getting into that area where he only has the short rail is really tough. Look at this aggressive play, George. The thing about taking this jump is that you could still get safe even if you miss it. That's the kind of unknown part of the decision making. I'm actually a little surprised that MACIOL didn't take that one. Not that there's high difficulty.
I kind of favor DELGADO to make this. I don't know why. Just as I look at it, I just kind of favor him to make it, or not.
Yeah. Well, oh, and look, the cue ball went in too. So, right decision that time from MACIOL.
Sure was. I didn't know what about it, but I just looked at it and I said, I think he'll make this. And
Yeah, again, the unknown part there is, I mean, he's only going to go in the pocket with the cue ball. I don't know, call it once out of every 15 times. The unknown part is if you hit it, are you going to get safe? And that's the kind of 50-50 proposition about the whole scenario. But at the same time, good push from Delgado. Gave himself a chance to possibly pull off something tough. He's going to want to be straight enough here that he can hold on the right side of the table. I believe he just is. Pretty straightforward for the next 5 shots. Really times the ball well, George. Just smooth backswing, pause at the back, good stroke length, little on the longer side, but not too long. Really a picture-perfect player.
I was just thinking you could use him as a model for your classes.
Yeah. A little close to the rail here. I think the following angle's going to be okay to play before the side. Nice shot. So coming back from the 1-game deficit, it'll be MACIOL to break in rack number 7. Yet to see a break and run. Both players kind of making the wired balls behind the 1. And actually controlling the 1 well, just not getting a shot. Stick around a little break in the action. George, I don't know if you can update us on the final 32.
Just getting that.
Oh, we're reading each other's minds. We've worked together enough now.
That's why I was being so quiet over here. I was dallying through this and trying to get to the live scores, so it'll show the final 32 that are playing right now. And here we go. You have Alexa Pechel, 5-2 over Wojciech Szewczak. You have Yuma Dorner, 6-1 over Mikel Rehepap. Roberto Bartol is trailing Jaroslav Polach, 6-3. Michel Bartol, 5-4 over Orkan Gubatov. And the junior, or I guess he's not a junior anymore, it's Felix Vogel, trailing 4-2 over Walter Laikre. Eric Gardelov, trailing 6-3 to Jere Vitaranta. And then Kesutus Jr., Kesutus Zadekis, 5-4 over Luka Men. Then we have Zadekis Kesutus, 5-4 over Luka Men. I just said that. João Grillo from Portugal, 4-3 over Arseny Sebastianov. And then Max Benko leads Emil Andre Gangflot, 4-3. And then Mateus Sninoki trailing 6-2 to Juan Carlos Exposito. And that's what's going on with the final 32 in the men right now. You also have the women playing. I watched a little bit of a nice match with Jasmine Ocean, where her opponent was leading the entire way, and she had to come from behind to close it out in the very high pressured last two games. These Predator tables are the Arc, the new Arc. They're available in Europe and Asia. They're a three-piece slate, K55 speed rails. So they play rather nice. Everything I've seen on them makes them very, very adaptable for home use. PredatorCues.com is where you could find them and get all the info you want. The corner pockets are 4 1/4 inch. The side pockets are 5 inches. So they're for pro players, or they'll make for a very tight play, especially once that cloth breaks in. Nice venue here in Tallinn, very picturesque city on the shores of the Gulf of Finland.
Just waiting for MACIOL to return from break here.
Mm-hmm.
Delgado choosing to stay in the arena. He's ready to go. Here comes MACIOL.
Doesn't want to lose his focus. He wants to just stare at that table. And we're tied at 3. Breaking in the 7th rack will be Daniel. With that background, you can't see his supporters, the rest of the Polish team. Usually you have Mateusz Nikoki or Wojciech, but I believe they're playing right now also. As we just
Wojciech's on the table next to them.
Sure. Nikoki in a little bit of trouble here because it's a race to 8 and he's trailing 6-3.
Nothing down on the wired balls. 3 ball just missing the 4 railer. And he's left something for Delgado here. Tough position on the first shot. Only real option is drawing it straight back into the short side of the two.
He's going to have to come back quite a ways for this 2-ball. Or will he play the combo next?
Going to the short side.
Yeah.
Nice hit. Little unlucky there, just getting a little too far. 50-yard line here. Thinking about the 3 rails too, is it's coming over into the 4-6-10. So
And the thing about it is, if he cuts this ball in, it's going to go up, and you have 4 balls that can block his position for the 3 unless he goes around him. And he's
yeah, I think it's
with the side pocket too.
Yeah, he should get around the side, but he's too thin in the side pocket to go actually pocket the 2 in the side. It is possible to find a way kind of inside. Yeah, he's going to come between the 6-10 maybe. Oh, just hit it light enough to not even bring those balls into play. Smart shot there. On the rail, unfortunately. I'm going to see a big elevated power draw here, George. It's possible.
Well, if someone's going to do this, he'll attempt it. Got it off to the side a little.
Yeah, not perfect here, and he's out of position. Super tough shot there.
He's looking to see if he can come off the 6 ball for the side pocket.
Yeah, I think he could play the cue ball behind the 8. No good. He's got to get a rail first. Not even the rail, and here's a break from MACIOL. Gonna have to play the 6 in the long pocket, but it is manageable. Guess it does have room past the 8. Always wanted to favor the pocket that the ball's closer to.
Yeah, you just, especially if the cue ball is going to be nice and tight. Yeah, I like him here. I think I like this ball coming to road, just right where he's pointing now, coming above the 9.
Ten's in a bit of an unfavorable position. He'll want to get the cue ball close to it just to ensure the pocketing.
You know, that's one of the tougher positions on the table for your money ball to be. Anywhere close to that side pocket on the rail.
Yeah, it's far from other pockets. You got to kind of target the object ball properly. It's an underrated shot.
Look at what a nice line he left himself to come into the 10.
Definitely, and see where he's pointing his tip there. He knows he needs to be close to it.
Odds-on favorite here to go ahead by a game, but they're on break. 4-3 with Delgado to break to tie things up.
Yeah, neither player able to achieve a 2-rack lead in this set so far. It's all been kind of trading blows back and forth.
Yes, MACIOL set the tone by winning his opening break, and then Delgado won the next 2 games. MACIOL won 1, Delgado came back, and now MACIOL has won 2 games in a row. For that 1-game lead. Delgado did lead at one time, 2-1.
Delgado's been hitting them about 60% speed, really trying to rely on making the 3 and the 7, so keep a close eye on those balls. I hit them harder that time. It's the one risk with hitting the rack harder, probably a little more chance of getting the cue ball kicked. Tough spot here.
That's at least the second time I've seen Delgado break, and the cue ball is on the bottom portion of the table.
Yeah, I mean, it was kicked down there. Yeah, it was kicked down there. He stopped it in the middle. But neither player's really had much fortune off the break.
No, they haven't. The ball just seems getting in the way.
Well, I'm almost positive MACIOL will be taking this. Tricky part about this shot is you got to play with a bit of right spin and power. judging the deflection up and down 2 rails.
Is he going to pass it back?
Well, he must not be able to see the pocketing angle. The 3 must be in the way somehow. Oh, it is. Nice shot. There is an offensive option for MACIOL here, coming across 1 rail. He's looking at where he needs to land the cue ball now. Looks like he's going to take it. So another super tough shot coming up. Both players looking to kind of pull away. Hasn't happened yet. But if MACIOL can make this 1 ball here, he'll have a good chance to get a 2-game lead.
What a good shot.
With spin. Speed judged perfectly. I'll tell you, I really believe this MACIOL is going to get right near the top of the game. I keep thinking it every time I see him play, and every time I come up to see him play, and every time he does play, he does good things.
Well, keep in mind, Filler is now, what, 26, 27 years old?
Yeah.
So is Federgorst, as they've come up. He's still got a couple of years of more seasoning. He's 25
That's
years
right.
of age.
Look at this, George. Effortless. Just draw the ball around 3 rails, cue ball moving 10 feet. Executed perfectly. Oh, the ball twisted on him. I don't know if we can get a replay of this, but I'll just mention something here. So there's sometimes when you get a bad contact, it's called a skid, and the object ball starts turning sideways. See how the referee's cleaning the ball now? Some people think it's from 2 pieces of chalk or 2 pieces of dirt kind of contacting each other on the cue ball and the object ball. And basically, a kick is bad. You know, it'll kind of throw off your position. But a skid is horrendous because it just totally changes the cut angle of the object ball. And that's what happened there. You could tell by his body language. It wasn't even like he was upset with himself. He's like, oh my goodness, I caught a skid. So, odd happenstance. I mean, they only happen once every 500 to 1,000 games. They're very rare. But maybe we can get a replay later on of how that ball actually turned off the cue ball.
It's tough to say how they're caused. It just happens, as you said. You know, sometimes maybe different chalks will kind of cause that. There's so many things that can cause it. The way you strike the ball.
Yeah, I've never seen a solid proof video of why it happens.
Exactly.
Kicks, they think it's because of like static energy, or again, could be chalk. I think they've had some small proofs about kicks, but skids are just kind of inexplicable.
And we're tied at 4. But the one thing about losing that game for Daniel is he'll get to come back and break this one.
Dare I say that we need to go back to the Predator balls instead of the Aramith balls, George? Or I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. They happen with all sets of balls. Yeah,
Well, the Predator balls are made by Aramith, so
that's right. That's right. Yeah.
but they're to Predator specifications. To tell you the very truth here, they're both very, very, very good balls.
They are.
Top of the
I'm
line.
just
I don't
joking.
think there's a better set of either.
Yeah, I'm just joking. Iron ball down. Pretty thin on the offensive cut on the 1. Too thin. He's not going to go for it. Cue ball can play behind the 8 possibly.
What to do with this one ball? Safety? I like safe behind a 8-2.
Yeah, you're just figuring out you can hit it thicker, you can draw it straight back. Typically you wouldn't be drawing a shot like this, but the thickness that you got to hit the follow shot at is kind of weird. Might be thinking about a 2-way, but you can't really do it because you either got to go all in behind the 8 or not. Did decide to follow and check it. That's a smart play. Kind of trap the cue ball into the rails a little more than just going kind of 1, 2 rails behind the 8. Great shot. Just taking away the jump for Delgado. Even if he does get over the 2, the 10 is going to be in the way. Jump kick. Wow, this is tough, George. Oh, the double jump. Can he get to the rail in between the 10 and the side pocket? This is extremely tough.
Wow.
Tough shot, but he was in such a bad spot that he didn't have much else. So great save from MACIOL, and he's going to get ball in hand here in rack number 9.
Delgado was asking for a lot there.
Yeah, I think the only other option was a jump kick around 2 rails, which would have been super tough to judge too, so he just took a shot at it.
Well, things are pretty straightforward here. This young man will try to make quick work of these. No apparent problems.
Yeah, he's going to have to get a kind of small angle on the 4, otherwise he's going to run into the 6, but there is ways to control the 6 where it'll still be okay.
Yeah, I think he's using the 5-6 there to give himself position in case he overruns it. He can just hit one of them.
Good call.
Perfect.
Could come into the short side too. Looks like he is going over to the other side of the table, just looking at the pocket line for the 4 in the right middle. Oh, he's going to come up. It's okay here. He can push the 6 to the rail. He's going to leave himself with a little more angle on the 5 than ideal, but he'll be able to manage. It's okay on the natural angle. Didn't move it at all. Making good headway in this rack now. Five ball kind of half hung up for a second there. You could see MACIOL looking, raising his head, hoping it went in. It did fall.
I didn't know you could make a ball with a hope and a prayer.
Cue ball's okay here. He's not going to be able to get real close to the 8, but still close enough considering how far the 8 is from the pocket.
I'm wondering if he'll wrap it around 3 rails with some speed. No, he's just going to take this right here. That's perfect.
Yeah, it was an option. But still, again, with the 8 being so close, didn't need to be super close with the cue ball.
Yeah. It's further off the rail than I thought when I first looked up there. Looking good. Getting close to the end of the match here. Should have a 5-4 lead.
It's been super high quality, George. I can count on one hand the amount of missed balls, and I can count on more than one hand the amount of great shots made.
I've got seven highlight shot reels, and I probably could add 1 or 2 more that we've seen.
And barely any mistakes, too. Delgado missed the 5 around rack number 3. That's the only missed ball, to my recollection, besides the skid, which wasn't foreseeable by MACIOL.
Yeah, both players have played very well, and you've seen some very well thought out shots too. It just shows the seasoning both of these players are playing to now, and they keep getting every year, getting better and better. Not just the execution, but the thinking process also. Goes the 8 ball. And still nothing on offer.
Yeah, I mean, that was break number 10. There's been, I think, every break pretty much they've made a ball. A couple they haven't. But there's never been a shot on the 1, I don't think. It's odd amount of no looks at the 1. Kind of brings us back to the Predator Pro Series, George, where there's a lot more grinding play. With these tap balls, you're going to see typically a little more offensive play in it and more of a chance to get a shot on the first ball, but it hasn't happened in this set.
Totally agree.
Well, MACIOL can bank the 1 up the left long rail. 3 and the 10 would be the most likely blockers in that spot. If he catches it super thinly on the left, he can cut it up the short rail. He's looking at pocketing it. Oh my goodness, this is really aggressive here. I mean, he's good enough to make it. Actually didn't call anything, so might have been just kind of looking over at that angle, seeing how thin it really was. Yeah, I like giving this back.
Yeah, you might just try to bank this ball between the 5 and the 7 and leave the cue ball up on top.
Yeah, that'd be the ideal.
5, 7. Because the cue ball should track a little bit to the right using the 3 ball, 7 and the 6 for blockers. Oh, that's even better. That's just great execution there. There's another one. That's what I'm saying. We're going to have a whole page.
Yeah, to hit a ball that thinly over distance. Absolutely no fear of missing the whole ball there. MACIOL's going to have to try to kick this ball in. Ideally, 2 rails would create a little more separation, but even 1, if he gets the right side of the 1, should create some separation.
Oh, you couldn't put a stick of gum between that ball and when it went by.
Two to 3 is going to be the toughest positional play in this rack. is available to the top right. Gets pretty straight on the 2 here. He can draw the cue ball just a little to the left, and I believe he even has a following option if he wants it.
You know, for such a high quality game, they've had so many innings at the table, and they both have maneuvered well, very, very well.
Yeah, just creative stuff, jump safes, certain spots where they're trying to jump in balls. Just real display of proper world-class pool here.
We thought we were in for a good one, and they've proved it. Uh-oh. Ooh, I thought that ball missed.
Yeah, I went to the side of the pocket there, but got it down. So Delgado looking good to reply here. 10 games in, looking like no player's been 2 games apart. Slightly straight. Gonna look at his drawing options now. Could have just enough angle to the left that he can punch it. It's okay. Delgado still playing with the wood shaft, Predator Vantage. Getting to a point where I think at least 75% of the players have switched over to carbon now. It's still a personal thing. And there he is, all the way out in rack number 10. Big MACIOL to break in rack 11.
MACIOL racking the balls. Eric, I made a couple of comments while I was on mute and didn't realize it. When you referred to the wood shaft and the carbon fiber, I mentioned that I might be in the process of doing the same. I'm giving it a go right now, see what happens.
Okay.
Kind of liking it.
More natural power. You give up a little bit in feel. But the natural power just kind of allows you to stroke at the ball a little lighter.
Feel and spin. You can't spin the balls as well, I don't think.
I agree.
And since I do play a lot of one pocket, but either way, it is the shaft of choice. And like you said, it was 75% are probably playing with carbon fiber. And I totally see why. If I was young and 25, I would definitely be playing with it.
Well, that's another part of it too. If you've been playing for so long, and I was one of the last players to switch to, I didn't for myself. I a little overcut here from MACIOL. Gonna get safe on the 4. He is. Delgado could stick him behind the 4 here, but a bit of a roll for MACIOL. I mean, even for myself, I was playing for 30 years before carbon shafts came out, so I was one of the last players to switch over, but I'm an advocate for rotation. I agree with you. For games like one pocket, you don't really need as much power, you need more feel. But for rotation, I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, and the one thing about the carbon fiber is that once you do get completely used to it, it works for all games.
Yeah. Creative save here from Delgado, yeah. Trying to get behind the 2. He's created good distance. Yeah, he couldn't really get to the middle of the 1 there, or just sticking the cue ball behind the 4 was a little tougher than it first appeared, so that was a good try. Cue ball's playing into a big stack of balls along the right long rail. Safes are tough. Could hit it thinly off the right edge. Looks like he's going to try something off the left.
Yeah. As we look at that ball, if he comes off the right side, doesn't that 4 ball come into play?
Could.
I'd be worried about a scratch off of it, so that's probably why I won't go for the ball.
Yeah.
That's the 5, excuse me. Oh, he cleared it. Nice shot.
Is he going to get around it? Doesn't look like he's quite around it. Tight angle. He can throw it in, but the throw will happen to kill the ball off the long rail. I think he's just okay by his body language. It's real tight here. Yeah, he's okay. He's going to throw it. See if the cue ball comes off the rail enough. Yeah, he can hit it with speed. Nice shot, and MACIOL with a chance now. 7 balls lying tougher along the right long rail.
Small window, might choose to bank it.
Yeah, the 6 is at least near it, but I wouldn't say it's an ideal position to kind of get the cue ball between the 7-9. Shooting pretty quickly here, so he has a plan. I don't mind this angle if you get on top kind of near where the 10 is and then go 1 rail at it, possibly moving it. If you get the perfect angle, you could consider maybe coming in between, moving the 9. It's pretty good. I'd say if anything, it's playing a little too much to the right, but he could play some left to hold up that angle. Yeah, he's not gonna move either of them. So this is a shot that doesn't come up that often, but I think he's gonna go 2 rails here inside the 7 and create an angle going back around it. Nice shot. Perfectly played, George. I mean, it looks so easy when people are playing the game properly, but we both know that even getting the cue ball to this spot and really not going through much risk in that process is very tough. Great shot.
A good exhibition is to the level of play that he's at. You know, set himself up to get that angle to get to the 7 ball just the way he did.
Yeah, I mean, he's at the point where there's no flaws in his game. I mentioned this earlier, but every time I see him play, he's just right on top of it. Don't really see any emotion from him either. You know, really even keeled emotionally. So taking rack number 11 and taking a 6-5 lead, 2 away from the hill now.
Delgado to break here in this 6-5 score. If you've just joined us, the man you're listening to describe the shots is Eric Horlifson from Canada. My name is George Teachea from the United States, both from North America, enjoying some great pool and bringing it to you live. Jose Alberto Delgado from Spain and Daniel MACIOL from Poland. MACIOL ranked number 6 by the WPA, Delgado number 26.
Wired ball down for Delgado. And finally getting a shot on the 1. It's a thin one, but very makeable. See what he has for position here. The 6 is blocking the most obvious pocket for the 2. I think it's available on the side or the bottom right. Side plays a little more naturally. Doesn't want to run into the 8. Wants to avoid the 3 coming back one rail here. It's going to hit the 3. It's going to get behind it. It is. Tricky roll for Delgado there. Was trying to play a little more right spin where it guaranteed him getting to the right of the 3. Spin just kind of ran out with the speed he had to hit it at. Not much for kick safe. Nice thing for Delgado is there's still a lot of balls on the table, so could kind of get a half roll hiding behind the cue ball or the 2 behind one of the remaining balls.
I'm just looking at this and thinking how Delgado he could be in a bakery and still couldn't buy a roll.
Yeah, it's tough. Don't think he's left the pocket for the 2. Cue ball can play behind the 7 here. He's looking at the 2. He wants to stay offensive. It's a very offensive play with the bank. Yeah, third look now for MACIOL, so he feels like he has enough of the pocket here. You can use the long rail with the speed. You're not going to... Should be okay to target the long rail a little bit here. Tougher than it looks. Yeah, again, those kind of intervening balls. See if he's frozen the 2 here. If he hasn't, Delgado will consider just laying up on it. Are your eyes that good to see from the overhead, George? I think it is frozen.
It
makes
is
a difference
frozen.
in the overall. Yeah, makes a difference in the overall shot selection. They're calling in the ref now. Look at this. What a shot. Bending the cue ball with right spin. Table feel judged perfectly. No kicking systems on that one. All feel. Just nails it. What a shot. Well, this match has had everything. I mean, both players playing great, coming up with some outside-the-box, high-level execution shots. Really a pleasure to watch here.
"11 world-class shots, at least, that I noted."
It's okay here. I think he's just straight enough that he can draw to the right of the 8. Punched out. Good shot.
And again, not one player has had a 2-game lead, as you mentioned earlier, and it's been the way the whole match. We're about to be tied at 6.
Just been hanging neck and neck.
Big race to 2 here. Let's take a look at our board and see who's here and not. João Grillo from Portugal, from Portugal, has just defeated his opponent. I just clicked out of that. So we have one moving into the final 16 at least. MACIOL breaking. And we have 3 players at 7 games to 6. 7 games to 6. This one tied at 6. We have some very tight matches across these final 32, last 32. Trying to get to the final 16.
MACIOL powered up on that one. He missed the square. No way he was trying to cut it from the middle like that. So because he didn't hit it as squarely, he didn't make any of the wired balls. Don't believe Delgado can pocket the one here, so he's trying to bank it back up kind of near the 3-7 area.
There's a window for this ball to go between the 3-7 for the pocket.
Let's call that. What's he going to do with the cue ball? A little short, but he's blocked the bottom right.
That was actually a great 2-way shot because his cue ball should have ended up behind the 8.
That's right.
And that would have been a great 2-way shot.
Safes aren't easy here. I think MACIOL's going to find a way to get the cue ball behind the 7. Touchy. He's good. Delgado could have a 2-rail angle at the 1. Might have to add some left spin into it, which could always make the kick tough to judge. I like this way better. You're hitting running spin. And anytime you're hitting check spin on a kick, it's really tough to judge and feel how the cue ball is going to react relative to speed.
It would be very unfortunate to catch. Is he going 2 rails at this or just 1? He's
Yeah.
just going 1. And he catches the right side, either side. He could scratch. Oh, he's going 2 rails at it. Nice.
2 with a bunch of spin. So he's trying to make the ball a little bigger there by going kind of to the middle of the rail and then coming at a bigger ball because he was coming kind of sharper on the second rail. Just the feel got away from him a little bit. Does the 3 pass the 7, George? I believe it does. Otherwise, he might have been trying to move it right now.
Doesn't look like it, Eric.
It doesn't look like it, but I think it must somehow because I think he would have tried to develop it if it didn't.
Yeah, the way he's looking at it, it does. Wow. Especially from here, it doesn't look like it at all.
Yeah, definitely playing the 3 directly here. Oh, you're right. Just decided he didn't want to mess with moving the 3 around. Knew he'd get into a spot where he could play a high percentage save. Delgado's already kicked a ball in like this. This is going to be a jump kick.
Jump to rail kick. And it's a tight jump, too.
Not this time.
Mm-hmm. Again, asking a lot of that jump cue. Well, this rack just got a lot easier.
Yeah, looking pretty good now.
Mm-hmm. If he keeps the cue ball right by that side pocket, he gets to make everything but the 10.
So he might accept a little more angle on the 6 here. Kind of don't mind trying to get better on the 6. Yeah, he's confident enough to trust his speed on the 2 rails around. Probably a little straighter than it looked, otherwise he would have tried to get to the angle where the cue ball was moving to the left. How's the speed? Pretty good. Wants to be straight enough here that he's not drawing behind the 9. Believe he is. He's got to play the right part of the pocket here. He's going to have to sacrifice some distance, but it looks like he's actually going so far to the right that he can draw all the way around the far side of the 9. Nice shot. We got to dig into the bottom part of the cue ball here. Slow the speed down. 2 rails across, okay. Funny angle here, George. You might have to lead into the short side of the 10.
Sure does. It looks like he has to come right down. But he reads his angles a lot better than we can.
Just gonna power up. 15 feet of draw, no problem. Well, a bit of a problem because he's left himself a little thin. Real thin. Huh? He might have to bank this ball, George. He is. So, huge shot coming up in the match. Everything riding here. Got it.
Yeah.
What a shot.
Great shot by Daniel MACIOL to get on the hill, forcing Delgado to come up with a way to win this game. He's got to. You know, those are the types of shots that a lot of players would have played safe. They would have cut it on the right side, gone 2 rails to the head of the table, and left the 10 ball on the bottom. He leaned over with the extension and just calmly, confidently put it in the hole.
Well, I think that's the part that really struck me about that too. Is he never even looked like he was in danger. Obviously, in the back of his mind, he knew he was, but even though he played a bad positional shot from the 9 to the 10, he didn't let his emotions get the best of him. He accepted what he had in front of him, and I think it like that type of reaction is going to allow you to execute those tough shots a little more. It's an unexpected thing, right? He expects to be straight in on the 10 or 90% or more to make the 10. So how do you deal with it? Well, that's how right there.
Exactly. Especially the fact that it's still, the cloth is playing fairly new still. Probably weighed into his decision to go for that shot.
Yeah, he used the long rail a little bit.
Mm-hmm. He used the long rail, so on a real tight table with worn-in cloth, I'm not sure he would have taken the shot. He might have played the safety. But as banks go, that was a higher percentage bank, with the exception of having to lean over the shot to reach it.
Helps when you're around 6'5", too. He's a tall player. Easily over really 6'3". Yeah, he's up there. Might be 6'5" or 6'6". Could play the cue ball behind the 7 here. Looks like he's trying something off the left side or the right side. Go ahead, George.
I was just going to say, I prefer trying to get behind a 7 than trying to get behind a 6.
Yeah, can trap the cue ball a little more.
It doesn't lay right to get behind a 7, and getting behind a 6, you may be risking a scratch.
Yeah, he's called the 1 on the left side, so I think he is going to try something with the 6, but more in a way where he's going to use the 2-10. Great shot.
He's a cagey player.
Yeah, I mean, the full game display of just all the skills in the game has been on display here. If I were to show a match to some up-and-coming players that really had everything and proper execution and just even proper demeanor from both players, this would be one of them.
Especially in the demeanor department.
Yeah.
Now, here I do like getting behind a 7 ball.
Just looking at it, just considering the combo. He is going to go at the combo. So, game changer here. Oh, yeah. Were you thinking cue ball behind the 7? I actually was if I was going to play safe.
Yes, I was thinking cue ball behind the 7.
Yeah. Smart shot there. Came into a big coverage zone. Knew he'd likely leave the 1 safe regardless. He actually might have left. He did leave the window between the 5. Oh no, he's going to have to kick at the right long rail. Delgado kicked one in like this earlier. MACIOL had a similar angle, actually missed the whole ball, and he's going to miss the whole ball again. It's just lengthening out on him a little, slightly millimeters more than what he's judging. But looks like this match could go to the hill.
This match deserves to go to the hill. And it'll probably see 4 or 5 shots of maneuvering in that last game, if not just in this one.
That's been the script.
Yeah, this is pretty straightforward now.
Delgado might be one of the only members from Team Spain over here. I know Maite Rapero's here on the women's side. Haven't seen Ruiz or Alcady on the draw sheets. Camino was in Seattle playing the WNT event. Well, I'm getting pretty straight on the 6 here and just drawing straight up the right long rail.
Pretty straightforward here for Delgado. Yeah, there's three other Spanish players other than Delgado here.
Actually, are they household?
No, just Delgado is probably the biggest name here from Spain.
Diaz
still in the tournament.
Yeah.
Now, still in the tournament is Delgado, Echevarria, Exposito, Juan Carlos, Iker Andoni, Echevarria, and Delgado. The rest are out of the tournament now. And
okay.
you have Alvaro Pereira and Pelayo Hurtado. None of the names.
Exposito has some international experience. I recognize his name.
Mm-hmm.
So Delgado getting through this rack well. Bit of distance here. Has to hit it with a bit of speed to hold the draw. Nicely played. Underrated shots, those sharp ones on the side with speed. Handled it well. And looks like we're going to the hill here. Going to be MACIOL to break. What a match. And it's come down to one game. Single elimination. Loser goes home.
And should. This game has provided us with at least 12 highlight reel shots. And more to come, I'm pretty sure. Unless it's straightforward break and run, because we have not had one of those yet. And they've been challenged to even get a shot on the one.
Yeah, that's the main reason. I mean, a couple times they had a break and safe opportunity, but really just not getting shots. So it's been a full display of save, kick, jump. Good things from both players. Any updates on the other matches in this round, George?
Good question. Still going on and still playing is Felix Vogel and Walter Lacre. They're tied at 6. And that's the only other match going on. Other than this one, into the final 16. We have quite a few players now, because this went from the last 32. We have Grillo from Portugal, Stockerman from Switzerland, Sadekis, Dorner, Olash, Stefan Kasper, Echevarria from Spain, Exposito from Spain, Vir Taranta, Bartol Yushushin, Pechel, and Gangflood. Quite an array of the top players.
Yeah, Gangflood is another up-and-coming player. I kind of put in the same category as MACIOL. He hasn't been as successful as him yet, but I think a player that can really break out and become one of the very upper echelon players. plays kind of a similar style to MACIOL.
Very similar, and in fact, in Vegas, I commentated a couple of his matches, and he's coming along just like MACIOL is. He's just seems to be improving, fundamentally sound as MACIOL. So, promising future for a lot of these players here in Europe. I wish I could say the same for a lot of the players in the U.S.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, like the European players are being brought up under proper conditions, so they're kind of developing a style that suits these conditions in major tournaments. Like, even if you look at the talent coming out of the Philippines, they're super talented, and they'll find their own way to kind of, play at a world-class level, but they're not as fundamentally sound as these players because they're playing under different conditions growing up. Still good conditions, but you still have half the forums in the Philippines that kind of are on like the wire roofs. Like they still play money games in those type of settings, right? So they kind of have different ways to hit the ball than these kind of bred world-class or bred European players. It'll be interesting to see how things develop.
You said bred and raised, but more than anything, schooled European players, and with support from federations.
That's right, yeah. Oh, MACIOL to break in the decider here. Five balls down.
Made a ball.
2 balls down, but no shot on the one. Yeah. No thought of offense here because he's right over top of the 4. I don't even think he can play safe behind the 7. It's too tough to judge the queuing when you're so heavily over the 4 like this.
I'm even wondering where to push to.
Yeah, I don't mind near the
makes it almost. Side pocket makes it tough to even play the ball.
I hear you.
Hit it straight on. Looks like you can hit it straight on and come up against the 7 with the cue ball, but he's over a ball. He could easily mishit this.
I mean, he's considering pushing all the way down to the short rail because he doesn't really like what's happening over near the 10. The guy's looking at that angle now. Well, looks like he might just push DELGADO into kind of a challenge position. Kind of just say, go ahead, and if you can make this ball and get position. Yeah, I like down there a little better. Obviously, he's worried about getting DELGADO putting him behind the 7 if he does go to that area, but I think not risking DELGADO pocketing the 1 here is a good play. Tough to call here, George. I mean, I don't think he would have pushed there if the 1 was available directly in the side.
And can he hit the 1? I think it is available on the side.
It's makeable. He's called it. But I'd consider it too low.
Yeah, a hint of right English, which he's using. He's trying to get behind the 7 on the same shot, I'm thinking.
He played it in.
Oh, wow. What a costly push out. What a costly push out for MACIOL.
And this is the first kind of emotional reaction from MACIOL. Obviously, he wouldn't have pushed down there if he thought DELGADO was going to play the ball right in. And it was a tough shot, but he played it perfectly.
Well, he's still not out of the water. That ball by the 10 is going to be tough to get to. He's got to get right where he's at now.
I mean, this rack is not over by any means. But just imagine how well MACIOL's played and wasn't able to come out with the win. Also a testament to how well DELGADO's played. He's short here, though. I don't think he has the angle. caught the pocketing a little thick there. He had the speed right. He just got a little thick in the pocket and lost a little energy with the cue ball.
Can he hold it? Can you hold the cue ball there and play the 4-ball 3 rails?
Ideally, he'd want to do that.
Extremely. Oh, wow.
Well, I don't even know if he has enough of the 4 to even hold it. That's the thing.
Yeah, that's how much can you see?
I mean, he's
another inch would have served him well there.
Yeah. Looks like he's considering how the 4 can come around tables, so maybe he does have the angle, but he's more just worried that the 4 is going to play into the 7-9, which it can. But he is going to try to stick the cue ball behind the 10 here. Yeah. Wow. Well, he's got a small roll with the cue ball. Yeah. He's got a small roll with the 8 blocking the most obvious pocket for the 7 here. Did it block it? He came over and looked pretty quick, so maybe he just has enough on the left side of the pocket. Position's not easy regardless. Got it. Just played the conservative position. Strongly advised, though. You know, he would have, any other shot he would have to hit with more speed and some spin. It was a smart play there from MACIOL.
Going around the table here for position.
Watch out for the
9 ball going to come into play.
This match has had a bit of everything right till the very end, but it looks like MACIOL is going to get over the line here.
Yes, it does. Again, another inch would have hurt him. Wow. There's no concessions here.
Great match by both players. Shame there had to be a loser, but looks like MACIOL is going to advance here. DELGADO will take solace in the fact that he played very well. Just a little misjudgment on the position in that last rack, but great match overall.
One of the best matches I've watched that gave up like 12 highlight shots. Both players playing very well. Some unfortunate, I don't even want to call them mistakes, just unfortunate rolls. We had a kick in the game, just a little bit of everything, but very high quality match. Eric, you want to close this out? Any other passing thoughts?
Yeah, again, just shame there had to be a loser. Both players played well. But we're into the final 16, and the 10-ball division is going to be decided today. So lots more action coming up for you guys. For George Teachea, this is Eric Orlifson. We'll talk to you soon.
Stay tuned, folks.